Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Darachat. Obviously, my name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because let's be honest, it's funny to say Daramouthe, but you kids get in a lot of trouble because you can't say it right. Come on, I'm past first grade now. Come on. anyway, anyway, I am joined by the cool cat himself, the Sweeze. If you can unmute now if you want. There we
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
go. They call him the Sweeze. He brings it downtown. Stuff like that. That's just how that. That's just and you got a picture of a Yoda as your PFP too. That's hilarious.
It's so funny that I was watching you talk about it yesterday
Uh,
on your Dara chat, and it came out looking like Yoda, but that wasn't the initial. The prompt initially was like a Pepe-ified goblin,
yeah,
and it just came out kind of also looking like Yoda,
yeah.
and I just kind of ran with it. It's kind of slick.
Yeah, and then of course that kind of worked with because for those who don't know, during my premium thing, I part of the ordeal with the creator program on Rumble. We did kind of like I showed people like how I do my stuff and all that, and and at a certain point, Sweeze showed up in the chat, and he was like, it was like we was showing him all the stuff. We'd made memes and stuff, and then it was come time to do like the description and whatnot. And I showed what tool I use, and then it came time to choosing the title. And usually, if there are people there, I usually say, hey, here's a list of titles people could choose from and all that stuff, and kind of just have fun with it, kind of give them something extra to do. And and you were in the chat, and it was just like, oh look, here's some list of titles, and everyone was kind of giving it, and then the top one was like the one that is the wise goblin speaks or mumbles, and then you're like, yeah, I've been told I kind of mumble back in the day. I was like, wow.
All my life, been hearing it.
It's just one of those things where it's like pure coincidental. You come in stream, you see all the stuff, and then you're like, yeah, sure, I'll pick number one, and yeah, that was pretty fun. So, but no, I'm glad to get you have on because I know you stream to both Rumble and Kick, which is always interesting to kind of get people's perspective on, because I truly believe, or I believe because of how much tools and platforms are now, I do believe multi-platforming is going to be key for content creators going forward because I don't I don't really trust single platform only people, because we've already seen enough what happens YouTube. But I mean, from your perspective of where you stream to, what has that been for you per se?
Yeah, it's actually when I first started, so I started streaming
Hmm.
whenever World of Warcraft came out with their classic anniversary servers
Mm.
last November.
Oh.
So pretty recently, all things considered, and
Mm.
I actually started on Twitch.
Mm.
And I think like the first couple days I only streamed to Twitch.
Mm.
And then, I started trying out the multi-stream plugin for OBS, and started trying the different platforms.
Yeah.
And I was multi-streaming to try them all out. And I think one night, or maybe one or two nights, I did it to 5 locations. So I was doing Rumble, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and X.
Oh wow.
Um, so I was getting that plugin to kind of piggyback that stream to all those. And over time, man, it kind of, first of all, YouTube was out like right
Mm.
away. I
Wow.
didn't like it. I don't know. Like I felt when I was live on YouTube, I
Mm.
almost felt like in the back of my head knowing I'd kind of have to like act different or like
Yeah.
not have the music playing on the track or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Mhm.
So I actually backed out of YouTube quite quick.
Mhm.
Um, and I gotta say, Rumble's just been so good
Mhm.
that I think it has over the weeks and months sort of taken all the others out of the ring. At least Twitch and YouTube for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and I stream to Kick sometimes. I'll multi to Kick,
Mhm.
but I would consider Rumble like the main hub.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it's, because I know, because in listening, to other people, it's like some people do better at one place, than another, and then, like, some people do better at Twitch than other platforms or YouTube on other platforms. It really just varies how well someone does. But, it's always interesting to get, a person's experience because, like, I mean, I already stream to YouTube, but I don't really change what I say because, that's why you multi-stream because that kind of alleviates, any power hold one platform has over you. Because I mean, that's what it is. It's just, being on multiple platforms gives you sort of a safety net, um, where being on one platform can kind of, uh, deter and determine what you can or can't do per se. Because again, one platform holds all the power over your like money and stuff,
Right.
that sort of
Right.
thing. And that's sort of where, for me at least, that's sort of where I see, a lot of creators at least going towards is multi-streaming. Because why wouldn't you, right? If you're able to get, say, like, monetization on YouTube or Twitch, and then, automatically have it on Rumble, I mean, you already have two places where you're getting money from, albeit the draconian rules that YouTube has.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fun stuff. Is YouTube, you see what they write up, but then they usually don't follow what they write up themselves. So it's kind of interesting.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But I mean, it's just, Um, it's just one of those things where I get why people do one platform, but YouTube has proven itself of a reason why you don't be on one platform,
Right.
and Twitch too. Obviously, there's been some history with Twitch because, let's be honest, how many hot tub streams were there back in the day?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I yeah, that's I mean that's a good point. I would say this too. Dude, for anyone that has like an X account,
Mhm.
multi-streaming to X is like so easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just so easy. That's one that I liked having the multi-stream setup for because it's really easy to kick over to
Mhm.
X and it's a good like the way it shows up on like the side panel that you're live. There's been some people like I've been scrolling X and I'll see them live on X and that'll
Mhm.
be like, oh, they're probably live over on Rumble too.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a second alert. You know what I mean? Like I'm scrolling past it because I'm already on the platform.
Yeah.
So that's one I like. There was a point where I had gotten down to doing a triple to Rumble, Kick, and X,
Oh.
and that's kind of what I was doing for a while there.
Mhm.
I think with Twitch, it's just a culture clash for me. with
Hmm.
with Twitch,
Mhm.
it feels different being over on that platform, in a lot of those chats, and then being over on Rumble,
Mhm.
and I feel like there's a difference there.
What's you say the culture of Twitch, like, what do you mean by that per se? Is it, like, just because of, like, it seems like it's just mostly gaming, to be honest, is what Twitch feels like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a lot more gaming. And it just feels like it feels more I guess censored. It feels like the chat. It feels
Mm,
like the chat will censor other people in the chat. You know what I mean? It's just like
yeah,
stuff like that. And when I'm chilling on Rumble and people's chats, I notice that there's a lot more like kind of just free flowing of conversation and expression.
yeah. No, that's understandable because, again, um, it does seem like many of the I mean, like, obviously, all platforms have a EULA, EULA,
Yeah,
because they have to play by that ball game. But in order to be less restrictive, it does feel like, because I mean, the big two, Apple and Google, they control the app portion of things. Like, you have to play ball with them, otherwise you don't get your app in.
right.
Um, and of course, there have been some bad actors who use, the app stores for their benefit, but usually if they're found out, they're get taken down pretty quick. At least for the Apple side, I'm not sure of the Google store. So that may be a different story. Um, but yeah, there's that portion of too, and majority of time a platform needs, to have an app out there for like TVs and mobile, because you're on mobile most of the time,
Right.
um, or using either the app or web browser, one of the two. But it's just weird. it, the culmination of how to do all this stuff is just weird and costly because it requires a lot of tech know-how. And if someone were to do this by themselves, right, if someone were to host their own uh, video hosting site, the amount of money it would cost is just astronomical because of all the stuff that's associated with it. Like, what was it? I think there was like someone on Twitch who was doing something like that, trying to find out like what it costs to stream and whatnot. It was insane, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, it with a Rumble, it is certainly getting there, but it is playing the game of catch up, which is kind of a holdback on them, but it also could be maybe a benefit to them. I don't know, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that are still need to be worked on because again, their competition is YouTube and Twitch, pretty much the big ones out there. It's just
Right.
that it's just that they're not up to par yet for many people. Because I know one of the big things from the surveys I did for the past few months was, the what was it? The live streaming viewing was laggy, freezing, that sort of stuff, and it's just something they needed to fix, and they weren't. Oh, fortunately, Chris did say that they will be focusing on that for making it a type priority because for so long the streams have been suffering watchability wise by many people, creators and viewers alike. So that's a good thing, obviously, but it will take time. So that's another that's another pain point right there. Is just waiting for it to get better.
I'll tell you, the phone app is an interesting one to me. I don't. Do you have issues with the phone app? I don't know what's going on with that thing. It heats up my phone. Something serious.
I've heard it. I have part of it in the survey because a lot of people have that issue. I don't use it. I use the web browser because for me the web browser is just like click point whatever. Because for me, I get why people use an app and that's fine, but I mean if you have a web browser, the app just becomes a secondary step. But I have heard some of that. I did have some people tell me about that, how it was like their phone got so hot you could cook an egg on it.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, it's like it gets hotter on my better phone, uh, which is very odd. And the only thing I can think is that my work phone is a non um like Max version iPhone, and then my personal is like the Pro Max or whatever they call their naming scheme at this point.
Yeah.
And my personal one goes at 120 hertz, like frame rate, and my
Wow.
work phone is only 60.
Hmm.
So I don't know if the increase in frame rate is causing like the phone to heat up more
Mhm.
while watching video. It's bizarre to me though because it runs fine for hours on my less good work phone.
Yeah, I don't know myself. I think most of it is just the coding of the app because there have been a lot of people who really just want the app destroyed and start over again. So I've had I've heard those conversations as well, and I'm just like, well, I don't know how feasible that would be, but they're like, no, just destroy it and start over again.
Tear it down
And
from the ground
just
up.
just light a fire on it, see what happens, and then just kind of clean up and start over. And I get it. I get it because again, like you said, the battery, the live stream viewing, all that stuff, it really is um it really is a time of self-reflection and trying to make sure that they go in the right directions because I know a lot of people want, like, I've heard people say they want channel points, I've heard people say they want this, they want that, they want all this sort of stuff, and I'm just like, I don't think channel points are more important than say stream stability. Hey Neuro, thank you for that. I don't think channel points are more important than stream stability. And while we can say Twitch has it and all that stuff, there's a lot that goes into trying to make that um, what is it called? That sort of item, or what do you want to call it, usable, you have to have an infrastructure that supports it. And I just don't think Rumble has that infrastructure to support that kind of thing. Now, there are people who are making like streaming elements that do, but that's a difference of a thing right there. It's not directly from the platform. It's not directly from the platform. It's directly from the streaming element, which is a totally different ballgame. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I get a lot of it. I get the complaints. I get the frustration. But at the end of the day, I really do think people really, one, they don't understand how this sort of thing works, how the video hosting and all that stuff works, but also that while their frustration is understandable, you are really still dealing with people at the end of the day. And if you can't find a better way of getting what you want across, then you might want to be careful of how you deal with other people and other things in life, because frustration is understandable, but it doesn't get you very far than maybe not getting heard. And that's the worst thing that could happen to a person, is not getting heard.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Because I know a lot of the Rumble people who are considered big have had their issues. If you've heard of Silver Fox, he made a few videos. Oh, and thank you for that, Nero. Much appreciated. Um, you've probably seen like Silver Fox make his videos at times about Rumble and some other content creators that get to post, and that's fine. They've been in here long enough, but I really do feel that um, there really hasn't been much of a way of like you know the combine bringing all those voices together, because I do know that some people will listen to a few voices and think that's the biggest issue that's on the platform, and I've seen it happen a few times. But also, people, just like I said, they're angry and frustrated, and they want this thing to be top priority when Rumble doesn't really have a lot of people. They even have less people now than they did have a year ago. So yeah. um but yeah, and that's the when I was talking about my surveys, is like I do a show called Rumble Squared, and part of it is I do these surveys that kind of collect all those voices and try to at least get them like, you know, unified in a way to show like where is everyone at and all that sort of stuff. Issues, wish list stuff, and that's how I'm able to say to you, yes, live stream stability was a big issue for a lot of people, or the mobile app is a big issue for a lot of people, and then you kind of trickle down from there. But yeah, it's gonna get there. It's just they kind of have to get their priorities straight on what's most important.
Yeah, for sure. That's and I've been seeing the surveys. That's good work you're doing. That's important stuff, and it's really useful to have that like kind of like the aggregate feedback.
Yeah,
It lets you kind of like parse through some of the noise
yeah,
and like actually see kind of where's core frustrations, like
mhm,
where's the biggest slice of the pie.
yeah,
And it's interesting for me too, because I'm maybe coming from um a little bit different of an angle, I guess, like expectation wise.
mhm,
Especially being newer on here, and maybe I guess too, because I have like a regular like day job that I go to.
same.
So I have, obviously less stakes in this as like a primary source of income.
Oh yeah.
I definitely get people's frustrations, but it's interesting coming from my perspective because I'm mostly fine with
Mm,
Rumble. I've had a pretty good experience with Studio actually.
mm,
For the most part.
yeah.
Uh, Now I will say like racing games, higher FPS games,
Mm,
it's it's something's definitely lost in translation on Studio, but I gotta
mm,
say like I like the moves that they're making. I like the
yep,
effort they're making.
yep.
Think it's I don't know. I think the one thing I would say, and I thought of it when you mentioned bringing voices together,
Mm,
is when they did a couple months back, I think when they were like first going over the creator program. This was the month leading into the creator program.
yeah, yeah, yep.
They did that meeting or the
Mm,
little kind of get together, like I don't even know what to call it. I'm like
the Rumble
losing.
rundown.
Yeah, the Rumble rundown. I'm like losing my words at this point. They did that, and that was so good. That was
Mm,
so good. And they had said something about how they wanted to do that a little bit more regularly, at
Mm.
least like once a month type
Yeah.
thing. And I don't think we've had one since that.
No.
I don't think there's been another, and I thought that was a great thing they did.
Yeah. No, and I kind of there's a thing with trying to get again there's a thing with trying to get things fixed that it's going to take more than a month because coding and all this other stuff, the backbones of what makes the infrastructure of Rumble, right? And the same thing with like my surveys, like when I first started doing it, I just did like an Excel sheet and just took down people of who I had on as guests, my Rumble squared, which is what I do every once a month. But I've begun to learn that over time with my surveys, um, that I think people kind of get fatigued or whatnot because I was trying to do it every month. I'm trying to do it every month, but less and less respond to. And I think part of that may be maybe for them as well, where they're like, well, if we do this every month, less and less. I mean, maybe not for them because Rumble, right? The people there, people they'll want people to be heard, or people want to be heard and all that sort of stuff. But like for me, I offer this path where you can be heard. It's just gathering that data relies on people willing to take it, and
Right.
it's a living survey. It's going to change over time, but it's just it's a for my end of things, it's a very hard, it's a very challenging thing because you kind of have to evolve basically to find out how to do this thing and all that stuff. And again, like you were saying, I did it because people needed to see visual representation of what many people were saying, because again, you can just listen to a few voices and think that's the majority of the platform when in truth it's really not. um like I was saying about channel points, right? A lot of people, many different people were saying, hey, it should be channel points, it should channel points, all that stuff. And I had my survey and it shows that like channel points over time has been like fourth or fifth to what people really want on the platform. And that's the thing right there, is like you also cut across people's sort of the fog of wants, because people will think that this thing should be top priority. Like, you have different priorities of what you want on the platform. Next person over has different priorities, and so on and so forth. But when you're able to cut across, and thank you, no, thank you for that. When you're able to cut across people's presub presuppositions. Oh man, words, like with me, words are failing to you. But presuppositions of what they believe versus what is. The surveys cut across that because you're no longer within the fog. Like, it's not a lot of people, but it's enough to say what you think you may want is maybe not what is needed right now. Not saying it couldn't happen, just saying right now it's not the case. And throwing me back for a minute. So we'll see. And then that's another thing too, is like they're still needing to work on all the live stream stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. See, that's such a great example right there because, like, I've heard a lot of people talk about channel points too. Okay, so there almost needs to be like there for what people want out of Rumble,
mm,
there ideally would need to be like two fully stacked teams, like one that takes end of the back end
mm,
functionality, like fixing all the stuff, and then one that's just all the neat fun things.
yeah,
But I don't think that's where we're at. I think Rumble is more, a smaller, tighter knit kind of team knocking out everything as they go. And that's where the channel point thing is kind of up there for like neat things, right?
hmm,
Fun things to have.
yeah,
But I would agree that I don't quite care about it as much as some of like the live streaming jank or like studio jank or functional things.
yeah. And again, it would be nice if that was the case. But unfortunately, it's been one of those things where it feels like, you know, it's more again, they're gonna follow the CEO and what he wants. And for me, I was, I've talked to some people who kind of have some sort of line to Rumble, maybe not, not like maybe a couple steps over, but it's sort of like saying there are some people, there's high people and admin who are pulling a few different jobs within in the company, and so you have a lot of different people putting on a lot of different hats. And you have your engineers, developers, and whatnot, but you do have some people doing different things here and there, uh, other than the job they have. And again, the problem of it is that their team is not. It just can't be to the par of what we're used to with other ones like YouTube or Twitch or whatever, because those require buttloads of money. I had to look up how much it would cost for an engineer, just one engineer alone, to work at, like, say, a company like this, and it's in like the 6 or 7. It's like in the 5 to 6 digits, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, again, that's the other side of the coin, where people don't understand what the costs are associated with running a video hosting platform. But they've also lost a bunch of people too. Last year, I think it was because I've invested in some stock into Rumble, and so I use that. I don't know if you've ever heard it or not, but I've used that app called Robinhood, and
Yeah, I've heard of Robin.
okay, and so in the Robinhood, they kind of give the details of the business and all sorts of stuff. And one of the details is employees that work for the company. Last year, Rumble had around 160 people working for them, right? Around, so I can't. It was like 158 or something like that. I can't remember. But this year, going over it, they have less than 140 people working for them altogether.
Wow.
So that brings up a question of, like, were they bloat? Were they not needed? What was going on here? Because usually they can see as a good or bad sign depending on the context, but there's really no context to go off of.
Right.
There's just a number. Like, I mean, man, I can even hold on. I can even pull it up right now because it was like last year. I invested since last year, and I remember what it said last year, but this year, here we go. Here you go. So this is from Robinhood directly. Oop, there you
I
go. So
see it. Okay.
so
Yeah.
so you can see right there, employees 135.
Right. Okay.
So compare that to the 160 they had last year. I mean, that's you don't know what that means
Right.
specifically. But yeah, like you said, there should be teams dedicated, and there maybe are, but they can't be as dedicated because they have to, juggle multiple hats.
Yeah.
You have to give them credit where credit's due, but I've said many times, like I'll praise Rumble when it does well, which, like the RTMP thing that's going to be coming out. Uh,
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't know if you're in the creator program or not, but once it's done with the creator program, it will go out to everyone supposedly. Um, but that'll be far down the road. But stuff like that, that's great. Gifted subs, when they brought out gifted subs, that was great. That was something that was asked for like ages. But stuff like viewing the stream, um, people have issues with getting help from support, all different areas. There are still some areas that suffer from needing to get worked on. And yeah, yeah, it'd be nice for dedication, like you were saying earlier, but it's just, I don't know if they can do it, because of how limited their resources and stuff are.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, they do wear a lot of different hats, especially Rick, man. That guy he is all over.
Yeah.
He is earning his.
Mhm.
Um yeah, they're doing a good job. I do like the platform. I like where they're going. I also have some investment in Rumble. So I want to see them do well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am in the creator program. So
Oh,
let me
nice.
tell you, RTMP Direct, I cannot wait. I cannot
Mhm.
wait to use it.
Yeah. They said in the next few days, I believe.
I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
that's right.
So that should be interesting, but for me, there's still a bunch of things. Well, there's still a few things, some things that people want, like they want more template stuff and all that. So, I don't know how far they're going to take of adding things to Rumble Studio beyond the RTMP, but I do know a lot of people want a little more stuff out of it, just because of what they're used to out there. Like a lot of people use StreamYard and they get um, the stream quality and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. Um, that sort of a thing too. And that's why people are getting the RTMP, direct line, because of that quality thing that was suffering through Rumble Studio. Um, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works once it gets out to all the creators. I most likely won't use it because I don't use OBS. I use directly from Rumble Studio. But there are still some things with Rumble Studio they need to work on, and hopefully they'll get those figured out because um, people if people want to join the creator program, it's almost like it's been a weird thing too, right? Like they'll make the complaints about Rumble Studio needs this, this, and this, but for the creator program, they'll make the ordeal where they'll pay for the premium. They'll use Rumble Studio. They'll still make their complaints. It's fine, but it's like I won't use it because dot dot dot, and it's like then they want to get in the creator program. It's like well, that sort of thing.
And then they like use it anyways. What you're saying?
Yeah, and they
Like stand on it.
yeah. It's like make your complaint sure, and if you're in a make a reasonable complaint. Don't just go out there and say f Rumble because they aren't doing this, this, and this. And like that's really a great way to get someone's attention. But um, yeah, it's just I don't know how is the so since you've been in the creator pro, how long have you been in the creator program actually?
I joined on this creator program the first month that they started it. So
Oh, so you've been there since the beginning. I'm right there
what
with
was
you.
the first month? March?
Yes, the first month. Well, the first month was February, but it's mostly just trying to gain those 30 hours.
Right. Okay, for March, like in time for March.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Gotcha. Okay,
March
yeah.
March was the actual month of when the actualness of it started, but February was the month of where they had to the lead up. You had to earn those 30 hours through Rumble Studio, and they've added more requirements. Um, but yeah, it's going to be. It's just you know, I don't know what it's been for you on your end, because I know a lot of people have been confused. Like, is that hey Texas? Built-in built-in alerts would be nice, so you don't have to use other programs. I have a long way to be able to do that program. I'm only at 16 followers. I'd so wish to discover would be best. So, yeah, yeah, no. Search and discoverability is on the list too of things that need to be looked at because their recommendation engine is just not up there yet. It's not. Now I have seen. So I'm pretty sure you've been on the front page, right? You see like that bar with all those different genres and stuff at.
Yeah.
I have seen other things become more. I once saw DIY get up there. I once saw other portions other than politics and gaming get up there, which is great. But their recommendation engine is still suffering from, the lack of discoverability. Their search is suffering from lack of searchability. So I can understand what he's saying. Built-in alerts, maybe that will be more down the road, just because the complexity behind alerts. But I do agree that the discoverability should be better, even if it means you don't get many followers after. At least it should be good enough that it feels well enough. It's never going to feel like it's fair because fair is an imaginary word. There's no such thing as fair. Um, but at least I don't know a reasonable recommendation is what it should be. But that's just me. So, but yeah, I know I agree. I agree. Those are the things too. Search and discoverability. Yeah, big agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
built-in alerts would be cool.
yeah, yeah, because I think well, especially with the streaming elements, right? Rumble Labs, and I've actually, if you've used Rumble Labs or know about it, I've actually got to talk to the guy by accident, and I actually had him on here. And of course, Vaping Gamers I've had on before, for Rumbot. Um, and then
Rumble
there's
Labs is cool.
yeah, yeah, it's a dude. The dude who created it has been in like software managing the software field for like 15 to 20 years. So he has a lot of experience.
Nice.
but but yeah, it's just there's still a lot of things even for the streaming elements. They still need some access to some better API. Oh, thank you, Texas. I appreciate that. Much appreciated. But yeah, it's there's a lot of things that go around, and again, as I just showed you, there are a lot less people now to do it. So who knows how it will go. But I like you. I invest in it. I believe in it. But they do kind of need to. They are competing against people who have been in the tech for a little bit longer, and they have almost infinite resources. Google, Amazon. But if they can at least get up to par to where it's not as bad, like viewing stream wise, and maybe that edited videos, like how YouTube has theirs, could get some notice. I imagine they'll be in a lot better place than where they are now. It's just gonna take time, and that's the sad part is it's gonna take time, and people are like, no, I want this now. It's already out there right now, so do it now.
Exactly. See, that kind of is like throws it back to what I was saying earlier. Like I'm just approaching this from such a different
Hmm.
angle. I'm a lot more, I think, chilled out on some
Yeah,
of these things,
yeah,
and already I tend to lean a bit more optimistic, glass half full kind of vibes.
mm,
So I'm here for it. I agree that there's some things that they need to fix up. There's some things they need to drastically get on like right away. Like this like freezing in the middle of videos thing that's
yep,
been happening the past week or so.
mhm,
Like that's the kind of thing that I think needs that like, all right, come
yeah,
on, energy. But channel points, you know, whatever.
yeah. It's not as important as what you were saying for because again, when Chris, the CEO, had said, we're gonna make the lagging and freezing our top priority and getting stable. Looking at the platform stability down, which is great because I don't think he's ever stated anything like that of platform stability before, because that's
Right.
been a big issue for quite some time. And especially you have a lot of people who are from like the YouTube side or the platforms where they're big at, and they come over here, it's like, why would it be over here? It doesn't really work well. I can't do this. I
That's
can't do that.
critical. Yeah, like if you're trying to like shill Rumble to someone and they go to like watch something on there and it doesn't like load up and play smoothly and play through without freezing like 5 times,
Yeah.
like every like 15 minutes, then you know what that to me is a more critical like first view experience to nail than like them being able to use channel points.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's one of those things where I think people kind of have to get in their head of like what's more important. Again, with my survey stuff, it cuts through that fog and saying, look, I know you want channel points, but there's a whole list over here of things that might need to be hit before your channel points. Like maybe someday in the future they'll get to it, but right now channel points are not that needed. Hey Bob. The channel points are not that needed. Even YouTube doesn't even have channel points. I mean, like, what you want Twitch stuff, but YouTube doesn't have channel points. It's like YouTube's the king of the platforms, and you want channel points. I mean, like, what's more important? Oh my goodness! And of course, if you're using from Rumble Studio, the quality is still kind of suffering. Um, if you're using straight, if you're not with the RTMP beta thing, really it just suffers a bit. Even if using from straight directly from Rumble Studio does suffer a bit, and it can't go up to 4K through Rumble Studio, as far as I understand it. But that's yeah, and Texas says. Way better than Twitch and YouTube. I used to be partnered with them until I spoke my mind about them, and odd the next day I wasn't partnered on either platform the next day. This was years ago. Yeah, yeah, that's just dumb. That's dumb of them. Because I don't. It's hard for me to sit here and say that there's any platform out there that's free speech because, again, they all have to have a EULA. Uh, keep the live chat. It doesn't have chat replay, yes, but that's something that can come later down the line. And even with chat replay, not every person keeps chat replay on YouTube. So dealer's choice on that part. Um, but yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Tex. That is just disastrous. I don't.
Yeah,
It,
that's crazy. Twitch is the worst in my eyes because they have their terms of service and they have those things, but they enforce it so inconsistently. And I
yeah,
think that's a lot of people's problems.
and same with YouTube. They have all these rules and yet do it inconsistently, where like you have people on Rumble way better, well, way less. Well, I wouldn't say way less toxicity. It's just not big enough for it to be noticed. If you were to go to the Twitter X side, you're bound to find something. But I understand what you're saying. Um, but uh, it's yeah, it's just one of those things where um, it's just a thing. It's just sad, but it is what it is. Um, but at least I know for some people, where it takes them, like for the creator program, like we were talking about, um, it's a little less than the other platforms, but people are having a positive with it, even if it's not perfect right now, because again, having to use Rumble Studio, all that stuff. All those things. But I've seen a lot of people kind of have some joy out of that. I know for some people they've complained about the viewership and whatnot, but that's a discoverability thing. But I mean, I didn't. So for me in getting in the creative program on Rumble, I really was just more of an accident because you're automatically considered in once you get to 30 hours. But I really just went in to try it. There was really no other reason other than, okay, well I've met the requirements. Let's see how this goes. so so somewhere down the road they may bring out requirements I'm not able to meet, but at that point I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world for me. For some people it is, but not for me, because it's like you. I have a daytime job and full-time job, and so that money kind of helps. But the little extra bit that I get from Rumble is not bad either. It's just I really, I really would not count, even if I did well enough on Rumble, I would not count it as full time, because it. Have you ever held like a waiting job, or like a tip job, basically, like where they have tips and stuff?
Yeah, I briefly worked at a bar
Oh, wow.
as like a little side job.
Nice. So how good were you? No.
Well, I had another job at the time,
uh,
and I actually only took the side job at the bar because after my main job, I would go to the bar
mm,
and be chilling there anyway. And so I just took that as like, hey, you want to work here like 2 hours a night, and then you're
nice.
here anyway. So
Sweet.
that's when I really didn't have much better to do at home. I was like just doing college work, so I would work and do college work, and in my free time,
Yeah.
hang out with the boys at the bar.
Messing it up. Yeah. Well, did you work weekends?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that must have been. Were you near? Was it near a college town?
Um, no, well, no, I wouldn't say so. Not really. Not like other places I've worked at.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, if you would work, I was about to say, if you worked at a college town, I feel so sorry for you, because those places would get packed.
Yeah,
Holy crap! You want to talk about noisy? A Boeing 747 couldn't outdo that noise. That's how loud it would get.
I know
Um,
that's so not my atmosphere either.
ugh,
Like
no.
not in the slightest.
Now I will. I do say I do go to like a bar at sometimes. Like there's an Irish pub near where I am. It's very Irish looking, and I do go there sometimes to eat and stuff. And it doesn't get real. I'm doing a time where it's not really busy, or I've gone to like a bar like at a family joint, and I sit up there too, because it's usually nice when you can not be in an area where kids are. So, and nothing against kids, it's just like when you want to eat in peace, and then you have a bunch of parents who are like letting their kids roam free. Yeah. Um, so it's nice to be able to have those kind of areas. But in going back to that, working for doing this kind of stuff is sort of like working for tips.
Right, right.
And you like there'll be days, like I remember I used to deliver pizza for Papa John's, and it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. there was there was one time, my first delivery, I was delivering to, and just first house, because I had to go through like this orientation stuff, and I was like, I'd rather just do this, but I was like, no, you gotta at least deliver at least one. I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. I wouldn't do it again, because delivering pizza, it just wears on your vehicle and all that stuff, and it's not fun. So I went to go deliver this pizza. I went to go deliver this house, and a lady answers the door, And so I was like, okay, here's the address, all this stuff, and I make sure that it's them and whatnot. And she says, yeah. And so she takes the pizza and whatnot. Um, and I go on my way. Well, I forgot to give them their end of the receipt. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go get back and give them their receipt because I thought it was important at the time. Um, so I went to go back, and of course the road that this street is on is all brick. Like it's one of those old. Some of those roads exist where it's just all like brick roads, like brick house sort of brick. And there were some hilly parts. To be honest, it was just not fun. Drive slowly, please.
I've seen those. Yeah, it's like where just they don't ever repave over it.
Mm-mm. And at certain points you have like these huge divots, and I'm just like, dear Lord, please do not let me go over this. But going back to it, when I came back to give the receipt because wanting to make sure he did my job right, a man answers the door, and I was like, okay, this is the right house. Then I remember delivered to it, and the guy's like, hey, do you remember? Hey, do you see a girl here? Girl, uh, yeah, she was here, she took the pizza and all stuff. It's the right house. So and he was like coming, he was like all this stuff kept asking me about that and all this other stuff. It was like I don't know what to do next, just almost sitting there frozen. And after a while, I was just like, he asked me what I was doing there. I was like, well, I forgot to give the receipt and all that stuff. And I don't know if he took the receipt or not. I don't remember. I just remember going back to my general manager, like and relaying that story to him. And just like chuckled to himself a bit. But it's like pizza delivery. And don't get me wrong, there were it wasn't me, but there were other people that I worked with where they got robbed. It,
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my
the,
god, dude.
one of the stories I heard was one of the gentlemen decided to deliver to a house and they had like the porch light on. Well, come to find out, it was a trap house. Basically, what that means is like they order from that place, but it's not really a lived-in residence per se. And so they kind of jumped the guy, um, roughed him up a bit, and they kind of took whatever money he had. And I think the pizza. It was kind of one of those things. But yeah, usually when that happens, the house gets blacklisted. But it was one of those things where yes, pizza delivery drivers do get jumped and they do get robbed. Maybe not a whole lot or a whole lot said, but it does happen. And it's not a fun job. And that's another reason I wouldn't want to go back. I also was getting fat because of the discounts from all the pizza items.
Oh my god, I couldn't do it, dude. I'd be eating pizza like every day for lunch. It wouldn't be good.
Oh my gosh, especially when there was like there was at least one time where I got to make my own pizza. And I was like, all right, this is not a good thing. But yeah, it was just yeah, I couldn't. But again, doing this, it's sort of like that. There are days where you may make a lot and you may make very little, unless you're like really big. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are strapped, and I'm always appreciative. It's a bonus to me. It's never the forefront. It's always a bonus. But I mean, there are some days where there'd be nothing. Like I've been on
Oh yeah.
almost on a long stretch of just nothing.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it's just one of those things where like if you don't have something extra in the background, like me and you have daytime jobs, this you either have to push it so hard or you have to be on multiple platforms, which ironically is why that's another reason why you would do multiple platforms because some places they pay better than others or they
Yeah.
have more people and stuff. And so that's a funny thing too is like you see a lot of these people who call themselves YouTubers who curtail their stuff in order not to get demonetized or automatically banned or whatever. And I'm just like it's really weird. It's understandable in the what is it in the complaints they have on Rumble, like it's not here or there, but they're willing to put up with YouTube and all its draconian rules in order to get paid.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's yeah, good point. See, because me personally, like I'll take the maybe, lagging to the party on features kind of situation that Rumble has. I'll take that any day over
Mm,
like some of the rules and ways that like Twitch, and YouTube like regulate kind of what you got going on, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I get it going to the other thing. because again, it comes back to our situations with, and it would be the same for any situation or anyone in the situation where they have an actual like day full time job that
Mhm,
they do. So it kind of like changes your mindset
mhm,
because if you have that, like for me at least, I'll just speak for me.
mhm.
Whenever I come home to like stream to Rumble, it's really a hobby. Like I approach it as a hobby.
Yeah,
I'm playing games, and I started because I'm playing a bunch of games, and I figure, well, let me go live. I'm already doing this anyway,
yeah,
and so I did that, and it's when I do that, go live, I approach it from that angle of I'm just chilling. It's a
mhm,
hobby. I'm gonna hang out. If people stop by, cool. If they don't, it's no sweat, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm not going into it like money first,
mhm.
thinking I really want to make like X amount tonight doing this or anything like that. So anything that comes my way is just it's just awesome. It's like mind blowing that it could even happen in the first place.
Yeah, no, again, like you, I see it as a bonus, like, every
Exactly.
everything surrounding beyond the conversational point, which, doing this, has always been a bonus because, I chose to do something that, yeah, certainly doesn't get a lot of views or whatever, but I feel it's important because we kind of miss, we kinda don't, as I was telling, Dad Man yesterday, is like, it's sort of an art form that's, missing, and you go to, like, a restaurant or something, you usually see more than that. If they're by themselves, it's understandable, but if they're with other people, it's like they have their phone out and they're really not talking to each other, and it's like, I'm in a way, in doing this, I'm trying to show that it can be quite simple. It's just it also has a challenge in its own right too. It's just, are people willing to take up that step to kind of, like, do it? And for me, I didn't see a lot of creators do it themselves, where they just, they talk, they do other stuff, but they do like topic centered things, and I can't. Uh, I really, I can, but I can't at the same time of doing those things because it's very, feels for me very constrictive. But I do so enjoy doing this thing because I get to meet people like yourself, Dad Man, people from all over the world who can't speak English because, again, my language speaking skills are nil. So it's just one of those things. But the opportunity is there in such a huge way that, while I'm not the greatest at the other points that a lot of professional content creators talk about, I do this thing because it presents something I didn't see before. And, as someone who, um, has gone through life and trying to figure out, what to do with the rest of it, because, people tell to go to college and do all this stuff. When something comes across your way and just clicks, right? It just hits you and you're like, I want to keep doing that. Because usually, right, in college, I don't know what your major or minor was. Um, what was your major?
I started my major in computer science, and
Oh,
then
wow.
got about halfway through, and then I was like, man, I really like this. Is like coding is kind of like
Mhm,
neat from a like hobby perspective, or like if I was like doing it for fun or like doing it for a certain application that was going to like prove immediately beneficial to me. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. But sitting here doing this for class and like sitting, if I had a job that was just like sitting there coding, 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 I realized I didn't like it that
yeah.
much. So I swapped my major over to IT, minor in computer science.
That's not bad. Yeah, I used to, I didn't go to college, but I did try to study for, like, the CompTIA A+, um, which, is expensive in its own right, but I did get
Yes.
it. But, I mean, I didn't really get to use it per se. I haven't really gone to a job where I can use it, and it sort of feels kinda down because, um, it's just, you kinda need that hands-on experience in order to understand sort of things like how to set up a Wi-Fi or whatever, um, or all those little intricacies like, you know, ISP thing and whatnot. It's not, or the not ISP. Sorry, the IP address. Sorry. Jeez. See, that's how you know it's going downhill is when I forget stuff like that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty great though, that you're doing that. So you have at least a little understanding of the technology behind, um, you know, when people talk about this stuff. And Texas Attitude says, I stream for me and no one else. Not trying to sound selfish, but I have severe anxiety from my military service. Well, thank you for your service, good sir. Mainly from combat. Streaming helps me with my social skills and other anxiety crap. If I meet cool people like you along the way, so be it. I'm always eager for more friends. Hey, right there with you, good sir. And if I'm allowed, what branch of military were you in? I've talked to people who are in the Marines. I've talked to people who are in Air Force. Uh, and I've talked to people who were in Army. Um, hey, Dadman, how are you doing? Doing well, good sir. Doing well. I actually have my guest who joined us yesterday. So there you go. You have yesterday's guest and today's guest.
How's it going, Dad man?
Um, but yeah, no, 22 years. Wow,
Cheers,
people
Army.
are
Nice.
wow. Yeah, I've spoken to a few Army people myself. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, no, that's way understandable. Look, my thing is always about, I give um I give my perspective on this thing. I don't tell people how to create content. I may say something that sounds like it, but it's really just you can ignore me, create your own content. I've always been about do this, create content the way you want to because you can listen to all the professionals out there. You can listen to all the people who've made it big or whatever. The real big point I feel or I think that you should listen to, if at all, is find something you enjoy and just do it.
Yes.
It's that simple in that regard. How are you guys? Well, we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well so far.
Good, yeah.
We're getting close to the top of the hour point. But thank you, good sir. Um, oh, 20
Hey,
years civilian law enforcement also, and I am half a century old. Damn, stream just froze again and came back. Yeah, I know. I'll shut up for now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll listen to you. Um, oh, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say to what Texas said, man. Listen, I was in. I don't have like the same background as you, but
Mm,
I do have um the like social anxiety was kind of one of my kind of thing like cruxes keeping me from getting started streaming.
mm,
Actually, for a few years, I'd probably wanted to start
mm.
and like self doubt and
Yeah.
being in a shell and the social anxiety um kind of paused a lot of that until I don't know what it was like the anniversary classic servers just seemed like the time to rip the band-aid off.
Yeah.
It seemed like the perfect game for me to like just kind of start. And I'm so glad I did.
That was sort of for me too, is where like, I was sort of like, well, I'm interested or whatever. And I was just kind of laying back and all that sort of stuff. And then it was like, you hear some of those people ask content creators, oh, how do you start? How do you start? And like, oh, you just get a camera and a microphone, which I mean, it is easy to start with. It's just finding out what you want to do, like finding that space that you enjoy being in. Because if someone was to make this a job, I feel for you. If you make a business out of it, I feel for you. But yeah, I don't know if I ever could, because it's just it takes away the reason of why you do it. Now the focus has become I do this thing as a hobby. I enjoy playing games, talking to people, whatever. And now you're like, well, now I have to meet a certain amount of money in order to make sure my business stays alive or whatever, and all that stuff. Because then you see like the whole merchandise. It's a lot of hassle. Um, but it's yeah, it I don't know. It gets confusing when it gets to that part, and I do think monetization has sort of changed why people create. And a Texas Attitude says, I have PSD, traumatic brain injury, lots of issues for my service, but I do it again if needed, especially to keep my kids and friends from going to war. Yeah, I hear you, man. Some freedom isn't free without a little bloodshed, unfortunately, and that's how life goes, even in war. But anyway, before we go any further, it is the top of the hour, and so what happens is that I set aside some time. Hold on, I used to do 12 hours a day. It wore me down. Now I'm approaching it differently. There you go. Always approach it. Always, there's always a different way to approach things differently. You just have to kind of tinker around with it, if you will. But anyway, it is the top of the hour, and so what happens is I set aside some time for me and my guest to kind of self promote ourselves. Now, I did put your links in the chat, but as Nero was telling me earlier, I think I added, I think I added the X. Yeah. Okay. I added the X1 twice. One for your Rumble, one for Twitter X. So I have to change that. But his links will be down below in the description. But I think I'll let the Sweeze man himself, sell himself. Not like that though. Don't not like that. But anyway, the floor is yours. Oh, Sweeze, are you there? Oh. Oh, don't tell me you crashed out. Ah, man. Well, I hope he comes back. Um, but anyway, so again, his links are down below. I'll try to fix. Actually, you know what? Let me find. Aha. Okay. I'm going to go and quickly add that. Change that. Sorry, not add that, but change it to his thing.
Oh, can
Can
you
you?
hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say
Okay.
what happened.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I was like, you just went dead silent. I was like, oh, this is not good. Um, no, I just gotta change up something. I accidentally added your X to your Rumble,
Gotcha. Okay, but you can
but
hear me
now,
now.
yes, I can hear you now.
Nice.
So
Okay.
go ahead and sell yourself, as it were.
Yeah, yeah. No, so, hey, so hey everyone, I'm Sweeze, and my channel is at Sweeziest or Rumble. What is it /user
Mhm.
Sweeziest?
Yep.
Um, I pretty much am just a gamer. That's what I do on stream. I play games. I play RPGs, strategy games, a lot of variety, single player stuff. I play World of Warcraft, MMOs. That's what I do.
Mhm.
I work my main job. I come home and then I hop on stream to chill, chat, and game with anyone who stops by. So I appreciate you guys. Dara, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. Well, we're not leaving yet. This is just the top of the hour, so we're not. It's not leaving time yet. But no, I'm glad to have you on. Again, it's always about hey, horror. It's always about the opportunity thing because I see this as a two-way street. There's something both of us can take out of this sort of moment in time, and I'd rather that be the case than thinking like, oh, well, just get whatever. Because honestly, I'm not a professional at this. I really don't know how to sell myself well. I really don't know how to market myself well. I just do the thing that seems to work.
That's me too. I don't know how to market myself well either. I just kind of hop on and chill.
Yeah, it really is what come down to, and at the end of the day, I mean, again, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, if you're not having fun with what you're doing, then it will seem like a job. And the people who say they're wanting to get away from their 9 to 5 job to make this their job, it sort of sounds like a backwards thing because you're escaping one job to another. I
Yeah,
don't.
and I'm like I said again, I'm a lot fresher at this, so by no means am I the goblin with the answers, but I feel like I couldn't do that either. Like I would have to approach it hobby minded first,
Mhm,
and then if things work out to such an extent, right, that
mhm.
that even became feasible. That's how my mind works. At least I don't think I could just like full throttle send and be like, all right, within 6 months, I want this to replace my.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I couldn't either because the stress alone would be detriment to why I even do this thing. Because I don't be honest, I would rather do this thing more than my full time job, but my full time job
Oh,
allows
yeah. Of
I
course.
this my full time job allows me to do this because I get paid a regular paycheck. Do you get paid every week or every 2 weeks?
Get paid every 2 weeks.
I get paid every week.
That'd be
So
nice.
that that's fine. Well, I mean, even if it was just 2 weeks, I mean, it'd just be split up like the money wise. So just from the 2 week special. But yeah, it is kind of nice to get it every. Now it's my second job, getting paid every week, so it's kind of nice to have that. But I used to be paid like every 2 weeks, and that was just sort of like, ugh. Yeah, it's not fun. But anyway, from my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or whether you're on the YouTube side, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with the engagement factor is much appreciated, because at the end of the day, not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps in having other people on, like Sweeze, like Dadman Walking, like Tomby, like so many other people. I think that I do this thing because there's an opportunity here to talk to people across the way, creator or not. And again, I have had people on who aren't creators or don't consider themselves creators, don't even show their face. So every bit counts. And of course, I have a link down below. Thank you for that, Neuro. You can go to that link. You can find my Twitter X. You can find my email. You can find like a link to like Discord to DM me. But beyond that, I don't have a server. I do not have the mental capacity to add more things, because sooner or later it starts wearing you. But I digress. I enjoy doing this thing, getting to meet the people I get to meet, and of course, I'm gonna have to copy and paste. Hold on. Give me 1 second. So a while back, now everyone, I've always said that, as soon as I've gotten to the creator program on Rumble, I've always stated I've been in it, and I've only gotten it because, um, I just wanted to try out. But there was another thing. So I don't know if you heard this yesterday, but a while back, there's a company called Proton, and a while back on Twitter X, they made a post about offering their own partner program, affiliate, whatever you want to call it. And so I was like, I use their product. I kind of have experience, but I really, there's nothing more than just trying it out to see if I can get it. Because usually when you're talking like Razer and all these other companies, they want people with big numbers. They want, their stuff being sold. And so I was like, okay, well, just try it anyway. So I went and put it in, did all the stuff. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Hey, thank you.
I went in, I gave all my information. Some of the stuff I answered, I don't know, because they were asking like number stuff. I'm like, I don't know. So I just did all that. But anyway, uh, no sooner had I put that in, 24 hours later after the fact, the next day, because it was over the weekend, they said you're in. And I'm like, you sure about that? So I got this thing. Hold on, I got to
Oh,
paste it.
Proton Mail. Dude, I love Proton.
Oh, you use it?
I use Proton. I have the whole suite. I love Proton.
Yeah. So there are other services. I'm sure you're aware of, like the VPN and the Drive and all sorts of stuff. But the reason why I'm focusing on the mail, and hopefully you can kind of back me up a bit on your experience. So the one of the things that the Proton Mail does well is that it does help against scammers and spammers. Now I still have AOL. I still have iCloud, or iCloud. Sorry, man, I almost got that one confused. I have iCloud, and so the funny thing is that you still get spam, and you get still spam scammer emails. Like your stuff, your emails do kind of get sold out there, where they will send you stuff all day long. You'll get sent stuff like from recipes and whatnot. It really is a deranged time. And so if you ever receive an email that doesn't seem right to you, take a step back, read it, and sometimes I use like Claude to kind of like read through it to make sure it's not a scam or not. And grateful to have a filter like that. But anyway, Proton Mail does a pretty good job of protecting against scammers and spammers. And if something gets through, guess what? They'll actually say this is phishing or this is that or whatever. And again, best reminder for opening an email: if you don't recognize it first, don't download, don't click on any link in it whatsoever, because trillions and trillions of dollars get lost through the scammer thing. So, and there's a lot of different scammers. So be mindful. Um, at the end of the month. Well, thank you. There you go. Something to try. Again, they also do like that. You can use an alias email as
I
well. So,
love that feature.
oh yeah. So why? So since you're here, why don't you tell us about your experience with that portion, the alias part?
The alias feature is I love it because I used to have an Outlook mail
Mm.
First of all, when I first got Proton Mail, maybe like a week later, I de-Googled. Like I got everything that was using my Gmail swapped over to Proton Mail, and I deleted my Google account.
Wow.
Um, at least the Gmail portion attached to it, because you still need like a Google account for like YouTube or whatever. But
Yeah.
I deleted the Gmail portion.
Mm,
Um, but I still have like an Outlook for dump emails. But
mm,
with that email alias, dude, you can like make just an email alias for some random site.
yep.
And if you ever at any point don't want to use that site anymore, you get to just delete the email alias. And it's like you just chop it off and you're not getting their emails anymore. It's awesome.
See,
I love that feature. I use it all the time.
yeah, that's one of the things I try to point out because there's a bunch of other things too. Like if you guys were to go to this link, it'll go directly to the site. You'll get to see a bunch of other different things, more tech stuff as well. But again, you can go to that link. They offer a 30-day free thing. They also offer free accounts. Again, yes, there's the possibility of making some money off this, but again, I'm not a good marketer. I'm not a good seller. All I'm doing is I'm trying to promote a product I believe in. They're about security, they're about privacy. They're stationed in Switzerland, which has high privacy laws. Again, they also offer other products too, but just focusing on the email alone. Look, guys, if you have other emails, it's at least worth trying. Look, I go about the Billy Mays method, right? Where I wouldn't promote a product I didn't use. I use this on a daily basis. Again, I still have my AOL, I still have my iCloud because I'm not sure what's still connected to that, and I've been trying to move over, change email stuff like my Steam account is now connected to my email or my Proton Mail one, and so forth and so on. I'm trying to slowly find ones I can move over to kind of keep that because, again, your email does kind of get sold out there. But again, like you said, the alias is pretty good. So again, you can go to that link. It'll take you to the page. You'll see all this other stuff. They'll even put up the prices too of like what it costs and all this other stuff. Again, they offer a 30-day free guarantee. They also offer free pro accounts if you don't want to pay for it. And there's a limitation. You are older than I think. Yes, I am. I'm a
AOL.
I'm a late '80s kid, so there you go. Um, but again, it's worth looking into. And guess what? If you don't use it, that's fine. But just think of how much alleviation you can have when you don't have scammers and spammers sending you email day in and day out. It'll feel like a Christmas. So again, I do it because I'm part of the program. I don't know if they'll kick me out if I don't sell a lot or not. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day,
I know Razer does that. Hey, but Proton's a good one. Like that's a good one to affiliate with. I think in terms of like there are worse products out there.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I know there's been this thing of like them being connected to the WEF, but that's just not true. Because there's like someone was saying like they have like them on their website, the WEF, but they're like, they can put anyone on there they want to. So I was like, they at least explain that way part away. But again, um, yeah, give it a try. If not, that's okay too. I'm not hung up on stuff, but it's just something I get to have an opportunity to try, and why not? So
Yeah.
I can't even sell Rumble Premium. So I like, what do they want me for?
I don't even. Is there a way to when you have someone sign up for Rumble Premium? Is there like a link that you even like refer them via your username?
So when you're streaming, if you're a creator program, there should be something that says Rumble Premium underneath your window, like your viewing window when you're live. Underneath it, you have like the follow button and all that stuff, or
Yeah.
the join. So underneath it, you'll probably see like the Rumble Premium, and people can click on that, and it'll take them to the page they need to go to. But for me, I'm just like a lot of people still have issue of Rumble offering enough for it to be worth like the
Right.
$10, which is understandable, right? Like
Very.
you don't want to give your money to be part of that. And like for me, I don't I do it because I'm part of the thing, but I really don't see much point to it. It's a nice object to have because, like with YouTube, right? They allow you the ability to have like members, like member only streams and whatnot, and only members can view those things. So it's nice to have something similar to that. And I know Locals has its own thing too, but at the end of the day, it should feel like an option. And there should be something else in its place rather than having to do the premium thing. But yeah, it's just yeah. So I don't really know how it works when you click on the link to if you want to point to me. Neuro has done it. So I don't know if you want to let people know what the process was for that to happen, because I don't know, and that shows you how well good I'm with this thing. So they're said to. So I'm really bad at this, but I do know people at least have gone through it. So Neuro, if you have your experience of how uh, using my link or however you did it, if you wouldn't mind let people know, because I don't know exactly, so I apologize. I know that probably makes me the worst person ever, but yeah. Um, but again, like I said, also I have my surveys, my creator, and what did it? No, 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 no. The for Proton Mail, when you were signing up for it and using my link, how did that process go? That's what I was going. I just clicked the link. Okay. But did you have to do anything else beyond just clicking the link in in the reference to me because it was my link? I don't know if you had to do anything else beyond just that. That's what I'm trying to get at. But again, like I said, I'm doing the creator and viewer surveys. Neuro has been kind enough to keep posting those. I I may have to move doing the creator viewer survey to longer than just every month. Those numbers at the end make the link unique. Okay, okay. Oh, I don't know. And letters. Okay. I don't know how it works. That's why I'm asking because I don't know if people have to do anything extra beyond clicking the link. So I just didn't know if you had any experience or what your experience was. But yeah, so the creator and viewer surveys are something that might have to move to like later, like instead of every month, like maybe longer open periods of time because getting people to just even click to even do a response, I it, I can't even I could just put it out there and but yeah, I don't know. I've been in doing this thing with Rumble Squared and the surveys. It was just me wanting to try to give people who are having frustrations and anger issues about why wasn't Rumble doing this or that, and give them a form of transparency they could see from what other people have put in. Because Rumble really doesn't do that. They don't really give a form of that transparency out. They just give a form of like, oh, here's the quarterly, and sort of similar, but they don't give that form of transparency. Um,
Oh, yeah. It's a good idea too. I hope they're seeing them.
I am too. Well, the funny thing is, uh, I'll look at that. So the fun thing was is that the when I had put out the final results, the summary results of all the stuff that was for April, like it was like April 28th or something like that. No more than 4 days later, that Chris had made that post about working on um platform stability. It was like May 2nd.
Oh,
Yeah. It was like May 2nd that he met. Now, I'm not saying there's a link to it or whatever. I'm
right.
not saying all that. I'm just saying that beforehand, there had been no other time where Chris had ever mentioned that, where they were talking about working on platform stability, as far as I remember. But after I'd put out April's, 4 days after, he did put out saying he was responding to like someone asked about Rumble Shorts, and then he made a response reply saying, "We're gonna make." Hey, there he is. Hey, dashboard. How are you doing, good sir? But it was in response to someone asking about Rumble Shorts, and he said, "Look, we're gonna make platform stability a top priority, and then maybe we'll work on Rumble Shorts." But it was a reply
Yeah.
to. So, but in finding that, I was like, it was 4 days after. I don't know if it's coincidence or not. I don't know if any of my surveys have had anything to do with it, but I'll take it as a sign that maybe along the way, or it could have been just like it's been there for a while and they kind of outspoken about it. And all that stuff. So, but I wanted to get to this. Texas said, "You interviewing people is why I followed you. I love to hear about others in reference to streaming and their live singing." Well, I don't really see it as an interview. I just see it as like you're at a table, like at a dinner table where you eat with family, or you're at a diner with a friend and you're just talking about whatever. That's how I see it as, because interviewing sort of reminds me of like you see those stars and stuff being interviewed, like, oh, here's your top questions. And I'm like, I start from nowhere, basically, and go from anywhere. And wherever the conversation goes, that's where it goes. But I really like that free form of it. So I don't really see it as interviewing. But thank you. Nonetheless, I will thank you for that.
I
As
do
you
like the
said,
free form.
yeah, it allows you, it allows you the ability to not be stressed out of having to know of talking about certain specific thing. Like nobody has to come into my stream and think they have to know about certain topics or whatnot. We can talk about like when Tickle Me Elmo was a big thing back in the 90s. Like everyone at least some point knew about Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah,
That red monster that Sesame Street has was a money maker. It can't
right.
tell me otherwise. It was a money maker.
That's why when you first reached out, that was like one of the first things I asked because I'm someone who thinks like, oh, okay, so
Mhm.
what do I have to be prepared? Oh God, what do I have to prepare for? So I was like, what do I need to be ready to talk about?
Yeah, and I that's really what, and for another part of it too is I really like being, if it's a guest first time, I really like being a blank slate because I mean you might see my other streams and might pick up some stuff from there, but I really like being a blank slate for the person because what a way to start out when you're kind of building what you want, story, bridge, or whatever you want to call it together, and you're starting from state one, right? You're starting from state zero, and there's really no way to grapple on like, okay, what are the thoughts, whatever. And you kind of through the process of conversation, kind of get bits and pieces where you're like, oh, okay. And you sort of build that. And the more times they come on, the more you get comfortable with that person over time. Instead of just like, I don't like to do, one and done sort of things. I like to bring people back on, but sometimes they either stop talking to me or very, very few have blocked me. So that's been
Oh wow,
interesting. Yeah, and no explanation has been given whatsoever. You're just like blocked. I'm like, why? And then nothing.
wow,
So it is what it is. But yeah, I want people to be able to come on and feel like it's a space where it's not nothing is. I usually do like this. If you can answer what color the sky is, you're good. What color is the sky, Sweeze?
it's blue. I think that's exactly what you said to me too.
There you go. You're done. You're it. There you go. It's it. You got in. It's that easy. It's sort of like it's sort of like that one commercial I remember a long time ago. All you do is set it and forget it. It's just that easy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just that easy. I get it. You like with you is like people have asked that before. It's like, okay, what's the topic about? Whatever. And it's just like just a free flowing conversation. There's nothing required. I mean, you have to have a mic, sure. Like I need to be able to hear you to respond. Like um charades. I don't know what that means. Um, but it doesn't. It's a huge load off. I see it as a huge load off. And you have all these different shows that have all talking about Hollywood, entertainment, politics, all this stuff. I don't give a rat's behind because eventually it all fades away. But you can bring people on, and yes, they may not know where they stand on, but guess what? That's the best part because then they're not worried about tripping over something because
exactly.
it's scary to not know where you're standing on, but when you also are free enough to not know where you stand on and you can go just about anywhere, guess what? You are free as a bird. And yeah, sure, you have to watch out for the plane once in a while, but I mean, other than that, you're good.
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to look at it. It's a good format.
And I've met other people who do it too, like Dadman Walking, does it is for his side as well, which is great. But the point of the matter is like it feels it I think it's a better format, at least for what I want to for in finding the thing I was wanting to do, because I am free of having to be restricted to what's going on today. Like I I
Exactly.
I can't tell you how much it seems like where it feels like the new media has sort of turned into the old media, which is like 24/7 news. Like, oh, this thing just happened. This thing just happened. They're reading someone's article. This thing just happened. This thing just happened. I'm like, okay. I don't need a 24/7 update about what's going on in the world, unless it's like, something really serious. But it's just, it kind of feels like I think it is heading that way in a sense because it doesn't feel much difference. But that's just me. I don't know what other people see, but that's just me. Um, but yeah, it's just a weird feeling, and especially with all the content creator stuff and all the drama, I just don't care. I don't care about. I don't care about who said what. I don't care about the vitriol that's thrown around. Hey, guess what, kids? You're gonna be dead one day. What does it matter? Like really,
Yeah.
it really comes to that point. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
it's just uh, yeah. That's one of the things I've been learning about with this thing in the content creator sphere because it is a lot of different people and a lot of different things. It's a huge amalgamation of chasing and numbers and all this stuff, and also getting paid, and also being the top and being the best and all this sort of stuff. It's an amalgamation of wanting to be the professional and yet not. It's just so it's yeah. I say an amalgamation because there's so much to describe on that, but I just
Yeah. No, yeah, I've been seeing it too. Like, so like, with the politics thing is like on X, it's like I process so much of that on there that like when I go on my own stream, I don't, I'm on my stream like I really just game. I'll be
yeah.
honest. I just game and chill. And I know like other creators they'll like talk about politics with gaming and do all that and that's cool and I'll watch some of those people and I like that. But
Mm.
on for me, my own like I just come home, hop on stream, chill, vibe out. And the rumble drama and all that, I don't know. I'm not I'm not
Oh,
in that either.
I don't care what the platform is. I really don't. I don't give a care about the whole. Look, there are people out there who hate Rumble for a certain action it did against them. Fine, okay, you have your instances. Some people who are so pro Rumble, it's like they can't see anything wrong with it. Fine, whatever, don't care. But when you just like, where does this end for any platform? Where does it end for any platform? I just don't care. I'm just here to do the thing, not get caught up in your silliness. And then there's the ego high school effect with it too. It's just like, trying to reach across to many, like I was saying earlier, like trying to reach across to many creators who are considered big or whatever, right? Like I'm not reaching across to them because they're big. I'm reaching across them because they're another person. Yeah, maybe they're big, and I'm trying to like, that challenge of. But beyond that point, it's just people, and their time's valuable as well. But it's just like you try to reach across them. Like I've had on Silver Fox before. I've had on um, Lumpy before. Great. Pudge T before. It's great. But sometimes it's just like the ones you'd like to try to reach just because they're out there and you want to see if they're coming. Sometimes they don't even answer back, and I'm just like, I'm just like, and of course we're going back to like Twitter X DMs, right? They're not very good at notifications, but it's like, could it would be nice to get a response, but if you don't respond, well, oh well, all right, I guess I'll just try someone else, and I usually do. But it's sort of like it. I will admit it would be nice to get on someone who's considered big, just as in the challenge of. But that's not the reason of why I would bring them on in the first place. Because again, everyone has a different perspective on what they see and all that sort of stuff. And while the instance of getting them on would be the challenge, just getting to speak to them opens a whole lot of doors of just learning about the individual themselves rather than just like,
Right.
"Ooh, I got a big star on." Yeah, it helps with
Right.
credibility, but it's like I've talked to this person, I've talked to that person, I've talked to whole sorts of people, and it's sort of like the difference between um, talking between a rich person and a poor person. Guess what? I have talked to, in that instance, I've talked to that whole different fields, different field of things, and I'm not constricted by them. So I won't say I'm like the best because, well, I do see the best conversational show, but one of the best, not the best. That's a different story altogether. It's like you once you mention you're the best, you can have people come in like, um, yeah, you're not the best. And I'm just like, okay, I didn't say that. Um, okay, and another one. Not confirmed by Steam, but lots going around about Steam being hacked. Not sure if I believe it. Steam hasn't said anything.
I
I
saw that, Texas.
Yeah, I would just if even if you just hear it, I would just go and change your password, because why not?
I am
Obviously,
later, yeah.
not because it's not because Steam has anything, but just because like once in a while it's good to like change your password every now and then, and of course add like the extra like TFA and all that stuff. Two FA, sorry, two FA. I said TFA and I was like, that's not right. It's two FA for the two authentication sort of thing. Oh man, this is bad. But yeah, I would still just change the password just because
Me
better
too. Yeah,
safe than
Steam's a big one too. Honestly, no vagrant's gonna get my Steam account, all my library of delicious, juicy RPG games.
there you go. There you go. Yeah, because I there's GOG, there's Epic Game Store, there's Steam, but I really think Steam's been around for quite some time in this game, and so they have a head start. But with all the stuff of like you don't own the game sort of thing or whatever, and GOG you actually can buy the game and own it. Um,
Love GOG. GOG is a good one.
Yep, yep. So there's that. But yeah, if it happened, not a priority for me, of course, understandable. I actually changed on my Steam stuff yesterday. Well, if you changed it yesterday and and that news came out today, I still would change it just because you aren't sure yourself or you aren't directly uh yeah, they may not have said anything, but you're directly not sure yourself, so I still would change it. Um, because better to be safe than sorry. But yeah, I went and changed my password today as well for my Steam, just cause. Um, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, I do try to find any of the places that I have an email on. I do try to at least use the linking stuff to my Proton stuff rather than like my AOL and iCloud because it was funny enough. Uh, I reported them, but I had received this like email saying like this, State Department is trying to get at you, saying that you owe money or whatever, a toll or whatnot. I'm just like, I don't think I've been at tolls for a while, and I usually pay with card or cash at the toll. So it's sort of like a weird thing to me. And then they're like mentioning like PayPal or whatever. I'm like, I think something's going on here. So I didn't enter any info at all, but I did look up like who do I need to report these scam emails to, because it wasn't. They did really look literally professional. There wasn't any like wording out of the ordinary, but it just felt off because you know so it was meant to make you fearful. Like some of those emails will make you feel fearful, like, oh no, I owe a lot of money, I bankrupt, whatever. No, no,
Right.
no, no. First thing you do, read through the email, right? And then if it's about your bank or if it's about the like the state revenue department or something like that, you always go to those websites first. Don't go through the links they give you. You search the web and you go directly to that website. Now, obviously, scammers have found some sort of way to kind of connect you, but you go to the actual website of wherever this place is claiming, and then you make a call, you do whatever, you get in contact with them, you say, hey, I've gotten this email from you guys, is this from you? And you get confirmation if it's from them or not. If it's not from them, then and you let them know about it, right? Because scammers, there's a channel on YouTube where they're called payback scammers or scammers payback, I can't remember child's word, and all their channel is about is like a majority of all these scammers are from India.
I've seen those. I've seen those videos, yeah.
And it's just like it blows your mind because you
Like
have like,
call centers of them.
yeah, call centers, all this sort of stuff, robocalls and whatnot. But it's funny because the scam centers are from India, and they were having that talk about like H-1Bs from a while back. It's like, so you're importing scammers into the country, and it's just like they say the best of the best is in India. It's like, yeah, but there's also scammers over there too. So who are you importing? And stuff like that. So um, it's just one of those things where if you get an email you're not sure of, do not respond. Don't click any links. You can open the email, sure, but you don't click any of the links they offer. None of them. None of them. Because at the end of the day, once you do, you get on that path where they'll try to extort money from you or whatever. People have lost life savings when that happens. Life savings. And a majority than that, it's older people, right? It's
Yeah.
older people. And so you have that. But at the end of the day, just if you aren't sure and they're trying to make you fearful of like, oh, I owe money now, take a breath, pull back, read it, put it through an AI, ask, hey, is this a scam? Because that's what I use. I use Claude, one of the tools I use. Like you saw yesterday, making the title and stuff. That's the tool I use to sometimes look over the email and say, hey, Claude, does this look like a scam or whatever? And if it says it does, and you just kind of you hold back, man, because with the advent of all the stuff going on, I don't doubt that in sometime in the future those scammers will start using AI to kind of like buy you or get at you. So always be mindful, always be um, understanding that take a second look. Take a
Yeah, these
second look.
text messages coming out now too. I've been getting all these. I want to say all of these, like I've been getting a ton of them, but every now and then I'll get these text messages about like toll roads. You
Yeah,
guys, toll roads, and like
that
I don't even leave my town. Like, what do you mean a toll road I owe?
that was the email I got from like my state government, right? You know, they say I owed money on tolls or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah,
I if I go to a toll, I usually pay cash or debit when I go there because that's just easier and that's what they ask for. I don't have like the pass thing that most places have, easy pass, whatever you want to call it. Um, but yeah, it's just like when you see it, when you start seeing it and you start understanding that it may be a scam, and if you aren't sure, you go to the actual website, not through whatever link they give you, but like you search on the web. You're all better for it because these scammers will do anything to get your money, and a lot of people have lost money to the point of like tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah. I actually had to. I had to like reset my grandfather's computer one time. He got by one of them, and I had to. I had to go help him out of the weeds with it.
Was it like a ransomware or is it something like that or no?
Yeah, it's one of the ones where it like pops up with the thing claiming that it is Microsoft support and you have to call them to like unlock your computer. And of course,
Mhm.
it calls into a call center in India,
Yep.
and then they want you to go get like gift cards. They want you to go get gift cards and then give
Bitcoin.
them the gift cards. Yeah.
Bitcoin's another one. Now, isn't you just have to really like, get out of, refresh the computer, right? Or restart the computer, I think it
Yeah,
is.
you gotta just pretty much like close out of everything, restart it for the added safety aspect. I
Yeah.
did a like backup of critical files and we reset the thing.
Hmm. Yeah, because one of the things I use, again, that's where Proton is pretty good. But the browser I use is Brave,
I use
the
that
Brave
too.
browser. And while there are some things that kind of misses on, they do pretty good job at, because I can watch YouTube stuff without having to get premium. If you can if you can get it in green, let me know. Oh, okay. There's totally talking about different stuff. Uh, okay, I see what you're saying. They're totally about talking about something different. But thanks, chat. I see a lot of discussion going on about stuff. Um, but yeah, that's where things like Proton Mail, that's where things like Brave browser, those are great resources to use. I know there's like the scammer payback, whatever they talk about, like Aurora. To make sure you're check on your info, because deep web stuff and all that, or Guardio is another one. But it really is just trying to get smart about like once you see the process of like the scammer stuff, like oh, so this may be a scam or not, it's good to use the tools to kind of differentiate and report them, right? You want to report. Like yesterday, like I was saying, I reported to like FTC, I reported to like Apple iCloud because the emails came through there. I even reported to PayPal and to their stuff to make sure to let them know that this whatever is using them, saying it they're them and all this stuff. if you get those sort of things, you want to report them because it not only helps them, but also helps them helping you
Right.
in that process. And it's good to have people like you who know the signs and stuff. Yeah, because again, it's older people that get hit more, you know, um, and they really don't know, and they can get scared easily because like, oh no, my money's gone. It's like, no, it's not gone. They're saying it's gone, but it's not gone unless they like get your in deep details. Then that's another story altogether. Um, but yeah, it sucks. It really sucks when it happens to family like it did for your
It does.
grandfather
Yeah.
because there's a lot of it's funny because there's still a lot of laptops that shipped out with bloatware, like a lot of things they don't need.
A lot. Yeah, it's annoying.
And if yeah, and so for the tech person here, why don't you kind of state what bloatware is for people who don't understand what that is?
Yeah, bloatware, you see it a lot on this is one thing I'll give to Apple is because they have their whole all their stuff is so locked down to their own platform. It kind of keeps all that stuff
Mhm,
away, but on Windows machines, whenever you buy
mhm,
one from like a big box retailer or wherever you get it from really,
mhm,
Dell, HP, whatever brand it is, it'll have like a bunch of programs on there that you don't necessarily need, but that the manufacturer included. That's how you end
mhm.
up with like your Norton antivirus and your McAfee antivirus and like all these random little resource hog things that you don't really need anymore.
Yeah.
Or first of all, you never really needed them, but now you especially don't need some of this stuff because Windows
Mhm.
has so many like native features. I don't even have an antivirus program. I just use Windows Defender.
Yeah, same with me. Back in the day, it used to be like Nod 32 or something like that. I can't remember the name, or Norton or whatever. And that's another one too, right? They'll use Norton. The scammers, they'll use Norton. They'll use McAfee. They'll use like all these different ones. Always be careful. Um, but yeah, a lot of the Windows stuff seems to float with a lot of bloatware of just programs you don't need. Now, I'm not gonna say like Apple's too far from it because there are times where it's like a lot of stuff you don't need, especially with their phones. There's like a lot of programs you don't need on there, but you can easily delete them and download them again. Uh,
Right.
oh yeah, they did shut down Skype a while ago. So Skype is no longer a thing on Microsoft. But then again, they have things like Teams and whatnot. Um, so I don't think they need Skype anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, RIP Skype. My grandfather used that. My uncle lives in Thailand, and they
Yeah.
would use Skype to communicate back and forth. So now I think they've moved over to Zoom for their
Oh yeah.
weekly meetings.
Mhm. Well, it's funny too, because like if you have family members who have iPhone or Apple product related, you can use their FaceTime, which is
Yeah.
basically free in its own right, other than like the data stuff like your phone and whatnot. Um, but I mean, if you have Wi-Fi, you have cell phone with cellular network, you could basically use FaceTime for free and all that. And I know there's like with Google, you can download certain apps or whatever when overseas in combat zone. Yeah, that's there too. Um, but yeah, you could definitely do that. But there's other programs too out there. Um, but yeah, it's I I get I get some people say of Apple, but there's a lot of things they do well that kind of make it a difficulty to kind of move just away from the stuff like their ecosystem, right? Like you buy a song
Yes, that's the word I was trying to pull out
ecosystem.
of the cranium earlier.
Yeah, ecosystem. It's like you buy a song off your phone, you could play it on your MacBook or iPad or whatever. So you buy it off one place and you can have it on all your other places.
Right.
That sort of thing, or movies or games or whatever. So they have an ecosystem that works well with each other. Especially like you get an iWatch and you attach it to your phone or you attach it to another product, and you can do all the stuff with it. And so they have this ecosystem where everything's tied together. It's a very closed off system because it's Unix, not Linux or a mixture of whatever. or what was it? A Unix branch of what Microsoft is? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Oh
Uh,
man, I would almost if they could just get Linux slightly more compatible with like my full Steam library,
yeah.
I would almost j- swap to Linux instead of Windows.
I think the only closest you'll get with Linux is Ubuntu, basically, as far as I've seen, because it
Yeah,
has the GUI and all that stuff, and I think that's what people are used to now. That Linux is more text. In essence, Linux is more text based. Like you have to type in to get to the here, here, and here. But people are used to the GUI, and you kind of have to. And it's community built, right? Like Linux is community made and all that sort of stuff. It's updated and all that. Um, Linux is just in that area where, in order for it to compete well, other than beyond the really tech people, you for normal people to use, you kind of have to compete where you have to have a GUI. You have to have something that works on that facade of what Microsoft has, because that's what people are used to, right? You could do it in different ways. Sure, you can add different things here and there, but you have to kind of build something similar, so it can be a easy transition over. Because if you make it good enough that people can move over and it's like candy or something like that, people will just stay over there because it's like, oh, I can do this, 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 this. Done.
right.
But they have a bit of ways to go. Maybe they could use Grok to help them. I don't know.
I would love to make the swap if because I tell you the Windows, especially at my job, I see it like every day. Windows is, oh my god, it's so bad now. It's so bad right now. Like we have daily issues with like Teams and the Office suite and all that stuff.
Probably because you have a lot of people using it and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, like all the users across the environment.
Yeah, I will say that my surveys use the forums, the Microsoft forums. So when they have the online free part to use. So I can't, having that ability to use that where, if you want to use survey stuff that kind of costs you. So I can't blame them for that, but I kind of get what you're saying. Teams, teams suck.
Yeah,
Texas agrees with you. Teams suck.
it does. It does.
It
Actually,
just, it,
I'm sorry, what?
go on. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I actually have your current form pulled up
Uh,
right now. I was going through. There's some good questions in here.
well, and I have to give credit. So I have to give credit to Dashboard, and give big credit to Neuro here, because he was when I was because I did have people test the surveys before I sent them out, because I that's what I try to do is because I use the data of the previous month to inform the next month, and then that kind of shapes what that survey will be, and then kind of like, so the last survey was around 50 questions each for both viewer and creator, and so that was a lot. People were saying some feedback I got back was like it was a little too long. I understood that, and so I tried to make it less. But Neuro was telling me, it's like, people are sort of not in that bell curve or something like that, and so you kind of have to make it to where um, people can understand it or something like that. I can't remember what the exact word was, but we kind of taking that advice. I kind of uh, made it better and whatnot. And again, that's why I'm glad to have the feedback. But again, it's also like I think I think doing the surveys every month are to kind of become aware on people. And it's not something I'm trying to do. It's just it's a historical data context thing. It wasn't too long for me. I would have made it longer. Yeah, it was long, like 50 questions. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are considered normies, and whatever. I don't like saying that word, but it's sort of what most people say. But it's sort of just trying to like find that balance. And right now, I did make it 2 weeks, so we'll see how the 2 weeks go. But for right now, it does feel like response have become a little less, and just sharing like a little back end thing. Um, I don't know what that will mean for surveys going forward, because um, Steam keeps freezing. Yeah, I hear you. I hope they fix that soon with the top priority stuff. Um,
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing a lot, Texas. I've noticed it on Pep Killer stream. I think on a couple other streams. I've noticed it on my own stream.
mm,
It'll just randomly like freeze up for a second. It's weird.
Yeah. It's still an issue. But I mean, it was one thing where it was funny when Silver was like, "I'm gonna try kick, and I'm gonna see how that does." He made well, he made the comparison to the app version of Rumble, but I really do think that making the comparison to Kick was sort of like, you guys really need to get yourself in a better shape, because it was like it would only take a few seconds before it hit that 1080 and it would clear up. The Rumble side, it's like, yeah.
Right. I'll be honest, kick VODs are like really crispy, really quick. Like when
Mhm.
you go to pull one up, like it pulls up like snap of the fingers. It's good. It's good.
Well, and they use AWS, so there's that issue
Yeah.
too. So building up from your own servers is not an easy gig. Plus, owning them is not cheap. But again, that's where if they want to compete, they kind of have to get at least up to par.
Right.
Up to par. That's all people are asking for, is to get up to par. Don't worry about the 4K. That's more of a luxury, that because majority is at like 720 or 1080, but because it does cost a lot. I'm not joking when it says the bandwidth for 4K and all that stuff cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
4K viewing just wouldn't be applicable to me.
yeah, 1080 is pretty good. It's been really bad since DDoS. Yeah, well, it's been bad
Yeah.
before then, but the DDoS could have made it worse. Um, yeah, it's just with the focus of stream lag and freezing, all stuff becoming top priority, the platform stability becoming top priority. If it gets better enough where it's not as notable as not much anymore, great, great. That's the best thing that could happen. But
Love it. Yeah.
if not, then if not, then it's still going to be one of those things where it's going to be hard for people to move over and all that stuff. And they really need to. I'm hoping that the focus will be great, and all that stuff. So we will see. But right now, we're getting close to the top of the hour. So what was going to happen is we're going to start winding down, because I do have to set up for tomorrow's stream and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, I
Absolutely.
have to wake up in the morning. So, but before we do all that stuff, we all do all that noise. We're going to do our self promotion, and then we're going to go into tomorrow's guest, and then questions from a hat, and then so on from there. But first, we're going to self promote ourselves. So, good sir, the floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, hey Dara, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
This is an honor. I never thought I'd be asked to do something like this, so this is cool. It's just another one of those Rumble experiences.
Well, it's also just another it's just another way of making connections across the way. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not Rumble exclusive in that regard. I've had people from Twitch, I've had someone from Kick, YouTube, all over. People, again, non-creators as well. It's non-exclusive.
Right.
Non-exclusive. So I want that's one big thing I want people to understand. This thing right here, it's non-exclusive. Yeah, I have the premium thing I have to do, uh, sort of, but beyond that, having the people on who I have on, it's non-exclusive. So no worries in that. But sorry, go ahead. Apologize.
Texas, what a reason to get banned. That's so funny.
When I got banned on Cake when I called Trainwreck a twat waffle, in one of his lives. Hey, you know what? Maybe he earned it.
Just banned from the whole platform because of it. That's wild.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Um,
Anyway, well, go ahead and continue. Sorry about that.
no, yeah, you're good. Yeah, thanks again for having me on here.
Yeah,
I
glad to have you on.
again, Sweeze at Sweeziest on the platforms. If you want to just stop by, hang out at any point, at any time, I appreciate it. I just, come
Mhm.
home, hop on, chill, play some video games.
He's not called the Sweeze for nothing, man. He's the Sweeziest because he's the pleasiest. There we go. That's someone's gonna be like, wait, I gotta make that something like that. But yeah, his links are down below in the description on both Rumble and YouTube. Um, and thank you, Tags. I appreciate that. And they act like 12 is a derogatory. And there you go. Here's Neuro. Thank you for that as well. There's his
Thank
Rumble.
you, thank you.
Twitter is Twitter X. His Kick is down there as well, because I do include all that you have. But again, they're down in the description below on Rumble and YouTube. Again, I do stream to both, though more than not, Rumble is the more uh, activity, while YouTube is sometimes depending on the guest. So I'll still stream to it anyway because I'd like to have a backup regardless. So anyway, all those links are down below, and hopefully you can go look him in. If he's worth a follow, why not? If he's worth a follow, why not? I don't tell people. I'm like one of those content creators say go follow this person because I want the person's work to speak for themselves, not me speak for the work. Because
Yes, that's a good point.
yeah, I know, Neuro. I know. You got to tell me that story sometime. Hold on. You got to tell me that story sometime of why you say that. What's the reason why you say that? Come on, man. I think I asked last time. I don't know. But anyway, again, it's linked down below for him. For my end of things, whether you're on the YouTube side or whether you're on the Rumble side, either one, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow, anything that helps with engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be, it also helps having other people on, like the Sweeze, like Zora, like maybe one day Big Block if he gets over himself. Like like Anna's Gameland. Like who else? There's someone else in the chat. Go ahead on. Okay, I'll have to look over. Like Tomby, like Dad Man from yesterday, like so many other people. At the end of the day, do this thing to reach across the table to have conversations with Choose by There. I'm not interested in bad actors, but I do try to be very specific on who, because there are bad actors out there who just want to ruin and not have a fruitful conversation. We converse about whatever, but yeah. So any help with the engagement factor is much appreciated. I'm scheduled already number 700. Yeah, you wish. You wish. We'll see if I can get there or not. Maybe I will. But also down below is my link as well. You can go there. You can look for you can see my Twitter X. You can see my email. You can see my a link to Discord, but it's mostly just for DMing. I don't have a server. There's only so much mental capacity I have to do things. So just as a backup for DMing and all this stuff. So anyway, down there below, and hope you'll be able to kind of look over the stuff. And again, it's just doing this thing because I enjoy getting to talk to people like you, Sweeze, and like so many others. Because I don't care. I don't care about your status. I just care if you're willing to take up that opportunity to come on and have a conversation. So, but tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to have on a lovely lady by the name of Midge Star. She was actually, I can't remember. I know she's on the Rumble line, I believe, but it's just like, just someone I met along the way, and we're going to have her on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Should be interesting, should be fun. I just like to star Midge Star because I think she's like saying like midget or something right there. I don't know. But yes. And of course, the last thing I do with my guest before we end things is called Questions from Hat. Now, I don't know if you were here yesterday, but what I did is I bought a hat from Rumble and I've put some questions inside.
Okay.
And so what happens is that if you're on the Rumble side, great. If you're on the YouTube side, not really going to be able to add anything to because I'm not monetized over there. But on the Rumble side, I'm monetized. So my guest has 2 freebie questions, right? I guess there's 2 freebie questions from the hat. But if the people in chat want more than those 2 questions pulled out of the hat, they have to give a Rumble rant. It can be a 1, it could be a 500, doesn't matter the amount. What matters is it has to be a Rumble rant in order to have another one pulled out. That's the name of the game. But I've seen people spam the $1 before, so you're in good company if you're like those people. I will take it either way. But anyway, we're going to go for the first question from the hat. I'm not even looking in the hat. I'm just feeling with my hands like they do with those mystery boxes where it's like filled with spaghetti or earthworms or something like that. Oh, 1 filled out. All right, here we go. Here's the first one. And it says, what's your least favorite color and why?
It's gotta be pink. I don't know. Pink just comes straight to mind like right away. It's gotta be pink. I like a lot of neutral colors. I wear a lot of cream colored clothing and like blacks and whites and stuff like that. I think pink is just not my style, guys.
Not even for October. Not even for Cancer Awareness Month?
But we do it for that.
You'll make an exception for that, but other than like, F pink, Barbie can go screw herself.
Yeah, Cancer Awareness Month gets all my pink.
There you go. There you go. That's at least something we give out. And of course, big man himself, Big Black, got to have one more tonight. All right, thank you, Big Black. Big Black, given with the love, and because he wants to see me flail. So Big Black putting up the two, and what happens is that I have like these post-it notes, and that's what you see on the wall behind me. Are all those post-it notes are all Rumble rants, and there you go, Big Black.
Oh,
So there's
nice. That's cool.
Big Black. Well, I kind of stole the idea to some degree from another content creator. But there was also another part to it. Someone was saying like your wall is very gray and very bland, and so like how do I kill two birds with one stone? Like showing appreciation and putting color on the wall. Colored post-it notes was it.
Gotcha.
And I was like, there you go. I'll make that work. All right, so we're going to question number 2. So you got 3 questions total now, so that should be something. Let's see. All right. I'm not even looking in the hat. Just feeling around. I'm like Ray Charles, like, oh, feel it in the hat. All right, here we go. So here's question number 2. And, oh, goodness. And this question is, what's your favorite type of music?
Ooh, I am a video game soundtrack dork. I listen to a lot of video game soundtrack music. I like the Mass Effect soundtrack, and the Oblivion soundtrack is one of my favorites. Lately I've been listening to, there's this guy, I think his artist name is Cthulhu Seeker, and he makes synthwave music for the Dark Souls games and for Elden Ring. And I am like addicted to it, man. It's so good. The his synthwave like Fire Giant track is so sick. So a lot of that recently.
Oh man, yeah. I do like listening to some music. Like there's not all, because I'm not, you have your preferences and all that stuff. But there's one game that came out a few years ago. It's called NSR, and basically the game was about using music as sort of like a weapon of sort and all that stuff. And you can look it up on like YouTube, like NSR. They have all these sort of song tracks, whenever, and they have released some good songs and backing and whatnot. So I like listening to that. What's another one? And sometimes there's movie ones. I will tell you this one, The Crossroad, for game music and whatnot. Well, it probably didn't have game music in it, but it was like a game type. Was Ready Player One, right? If you ever saw that movie Ready Player One, that was like,
I haven't seen it yet.
it was out there a long time ago, but they would have old 80s music and all this stuff, but it was like a lot of old games in there too. I don't know if they had any game music in it, but it was just like a nostalgia thing for all the different games and all the 80s stuff and whatnot. I enjoyed it. Some people didn't like it because it was different from the book, but I mean, what movie plays well to the book that it can't?
Right. I mean, God, like at that point, like you might as well just have that statement locked and loaded for anything, because
Yeah.
the people say it with everything.
Yeah. I will say though, the another gaming music I like listening to was the music from the new God of War, right? Bear McCree, who's the music director on that, was just great music. Very Nordic sounding music and all sorts of stuff is just pleasant to listen to. Not all of it, but some of it. So there's that. But anyway, on to question number 3, and that'll be the last one unless someone gives another rumble rant. Let's see. All right. So here's question number 3. Let's see what it says. It says, do you prefer to shop online or in stores?
I think it depends on the item. Some things, I'll oftentimes, especially if I want it that day, I'll go to the store. And then if they have a nice looking box, like one that doesn't look like it's been thrashed, I'll buy it then and there. Or if it's clothes, I'll want to go there and try it on first.
Yeah, that's that. I would think clothes would be like the one, like you're not gonna buy some underwear
I
online.
don't want to buy clothes online because I don't want to try them on knowing that other people have tried these on and returned them, and then like I know at the store people try, but like still I don't know, it's different.
Now there was one service I heard about where they send a bunch of different clothing to you, and you can try it on and send it back. I can't remember what it was, like the suits and stuff, but it's always expensive to do, and it's sort of like either it's a cost
Yeah.
factor or whatnot. And it would like for me, it would be nice at least once, sometime in my life, to get like a fitted suit. Like you go to like a
Yes.
tailor and get a fitted suit, and it's real nice, and you can wear it. But beyond that point, I mean, it's just like I hate ties. I really do.
Yeah.
If I could get a clip-on tie, I'm good. But I dislike ties because one, you have to tie them, and two, is just like it's very uncomfortable. It's very restrictive. It's like you're one step away from accidentally hanging yourself. If any
Yeah.
if any of you haven't seen Final Destination, I'm like
Oh, I want to see the new one.
yeah, I don't think it's come out yet. And Big Black, of course. I just found out I have to pay for my daughter's master's degree, but we will do one more. Oh, well, thanks. Wow, you're so nice, but then you're like, yeah, my daughter has a college education. It's like, well, then maybe you should not give. I don't know if you're trying to make me feel guilty or not. Um, okay, because his name is too sticky on. All right, there you go, BBP. All right. Um, But anyway, so we got three. We're going to do one more because BBP paid for it. So thank you again, Big Block, for
What a
that.
legend.
He's a legend in the chat. We'll call him legendary BBP, but I can't change his name. So there's that.
Most of the time I rant, I do the $2 one just because it's highlighted in like a goblin green color and it's on brand.
The Goblin Green. Well, I mean, you look more like Yoda, so that's a whole nother
Yeah.
story right there. I pay you $2 a takes. All right. Here's one. Number 4. What's the most ridiculous way you've ever injured yourself? It doesn't have to be too hard, but yeah.
This one will always stick with me because it's the only bone I've broken, and I would literally just skating, just at a skating rink, and dude, I don't even know how it happened. I don't even understand how I could slip like this, but I
Mm,
slipped and I threw my arms back and tried to
yeah.
catch myself on my straightened out arms,
Mm.
and I broke my elbow. I broke my arm at the elbow,
Oh, that's awful.
or
I
just before the elbow.
I don't hate skating because you always get like that after of like you've been out for a while and you can have a good hot cup of hot cocoa and all that. But ice skating is just as bad as like roller roller rink, right? You have rollerblade and stuff on.
Yeah,
Um,
rollerblading is what it was.
oh man,
It was
that
just
hurt.
ridiculous to me because it's like I was barely even moving.
Big Block's like, maybe I will stiff for honor education and keep ranting. All right, Big Block. Big Block is the big man on the block, so that's another 2 right there for Big Block. I think Big Block's going to take up more of the wall. If I were to combine of what all Big Block gave, it'd probably come up to like $20. Or $40. I don't know. All right, we'll pull one more. We'll pull another question out of the hat. The Sweeze is ready for question number 5. Question number 5. Let's go.
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Question number 5. Um, what is post-it note stickiness? Sorry, hold on. So this is a question that was suggested to me by someone who I've had on before. It's suggested by Kaiju and Steve, sort of a duo. Are cats racist?
Are cats racist? I think so. I think if we're looking at animals, like if you were to look at dogs and cats, I would have to argue that dogs are not racist, but cats are racist.
I know. you may be some. You may be surprised by my total Daramouthe, but I would rather not know. Oh, we'll find out one day. How much is BP really given? It probably hasn't reached 50 yet. But yeah, no, that was a question suggested by Kaiju. Because Kaiju is a VTuber person, and he's using VTube Studio. and he's using one of their free assets, and one of them, actually two of them are cats. One is white, one is black, and he was as the black cat, and I was like, oh come on guys, really? Like, oh man. Um, but yeah, that was just too funny. But anyway, if no more Rumble rants, I was just giving them opportunity. If no more Rumble rants, we're gonna do start heading off. Now I'm not sure if I'll make any memes tonight. I may do, if we do memes, it'll be quick because I've got somewhere I have to be shortly after. So, you know, trying to help people out. You always have to remind cats to judge others by the content of you spelt that wrong. It's of the character, not if that character. That'd be a weird way of saying it. If their character, you must judge by their content. If their character, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we're so for a little while, we're gonna go into premium for a little bit, and we're gonna do some meme making of. There we go. There's the correction. So Sweeze, you're welcome to stay. If not, that's fine too. But if you're a Rumble Premium user, you can stay for the meme making, and that's pretty much all we'll do tonight. I'll do the setup off screen, but other than that, I do want to thank all of you coming, whether you're the Rumble side or the YouTube side. I thank both sides. You're always welcome to come back. And again, tomorrow at 7 p.m., I will have on Midstar, so look forward to that. And of course, Sweeze, you are also always welcome to come back on. Um,
Thank you. Thank you.
I always try to bring back people who come on the show. I know it's like, again, I've had on over 200 guests, so the list gets longer every time. But I do try to bring people back because, again, like I was saying before, you start at that blank page and then you can kind of go from there. And what what we end up, writing together will be an interesting sort of journey. But yeah, I look forward to next time. So thank you, sir, for coming on, and all that good stuff. So and again, his links are down below if you want to check him out and would like to give him a follow. And he's interesting to follow or whatever you want. There you go. Right. But anyway, as always, I end the original point of the show with One Day With You by Pogo. And again, guys, if you are a Rumble Premium user, stay for the wrap up part. We're going to make some memes. If not, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, hope to see you there. Have a great, oh, and don't forget to mute your mic too for the video part. Have a
Yes.
great night, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.